Hey everybody, it's me again. It's a time for another one of those late night coffee sessions. Got another story for you. And I had a story I was going to tell you tonight, but I'm going to have to hold on to it a little while longer because, man, I got something else to talk about tonight. I just came back from a men's retreat in Pinewood, South Carolina, a place called Camp Tracy. I've been gone since Friday till today, and man, it's just 48 hours of men fellowship way back up in the woods at a campsite, and it's called 1 Year to Live. Now, I can't tell you what goes on in this camp, but man, it is amazing. It's one of the greatest life experiences I've ever witnessed. Matter of fact, these men have invited me like 3 or 4 times, and I kept turning them down. I feel crazy for doing that right now. Oh man, if you ever get a chance to go to 1 Year to Live, you better go. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You better go. Cause man, it is a bunch of great Christian fellowship with men of all walks of life. Everybody's got different stories. If you kind of see my shirt, this is an old t-shirt and the hope is faded on it. It's got holes in it, it's a little worn. That's what us group of men were like. We're imperfect men chasing God in the wilderness for 48 hours. That's about the best I could explain it. And man, I don't care what is going on in your life, God will fix it in those woods. Most powerful thing I've ever experienced. And I've been seeking that, you know, because when I was in prison, man, I said I was able to walk like a giant back there because it was just me and God. And I've been home for almost 7 years, man, and I haven't felt that touch here that I had in prison since I came home, man. And this weekend with those men at 1 Year to Live, I got a chance to experience that again. And man, I'm just on a spiritual high right now. When it talks about Enoch walking with God in the Bible for 300 or 400 years, man, that's what it felt like. It felt like I was just out in the wilderness walking with God. And I don't know, man, the power of God was so strong, man. It was like I thought he was going to jump from behind a tree and grab me and hug me or something, man. It was amazing. And as I was leaving today to come back home, I was replaying a lot of events and just thanking God for this opportunity. And I started to immediately think about how a person cannot believe in God. I got to experience him like he was a real person this weekend. I got to experience him through all those good brothers I was out there with. And there were about 20 of us. And I had a big circle before I went, but I promise you now, my circle's been fortified. I have added to this circle, and buddy, I got a circle now that I know is strong and can be depended on. I can't say enough about this weekend, but as I was saying, with people that don't believe about God, you need to experience that weekend. I promise you it'll change your mind. But I was thinking about these videos I started watching online about this guy with a microphone, and he was going up and down the street asking people they believe in God, they believe in Jesus. And I was astonished at some of the people that just kept saying, no, I don't believe in Jesus. No, I don't believe in God. And I'm like, how can you do that? And it's even more mind-boggling to me that now that I just spent 48 hours in the wilderness with Jesus, and somebody can say they don't believe in it. But it reminded me of a story I wanted to share with you guys. One that I heard years and years ago. I believe I was in prison when I heard this story. But it was about this man that didn't believe in God. He didn't believe that God came in the form of Jesus and died on the cross, and he didn't believe he rose again, and that Holy Spirit and Jesus and God was all connected. He didn't believe any of that. But I can tell you who did believe it, his wife and his daughter, because they went to church, man. They believed in God, they believed in Jesus, and they kept trying to convince him to come with them to church. He would always turn them down. Same way I kept turning those guys down from going on that retreat at 1 Year to Live. Well, One night they had the Christmas play at church, and they asked him like always, would you like to go with us? He said, nope, I ain't going to listen to that mess. Y'all go ahead and do what you do. I'm staying home like normal. So he's sitting at home and he's watching TV, and he looks out of the window and he noticed it started to snow. He said, man, it's snowing out there. Then he watched TV a little while longer, and he looked out there again, and the snow had started to pick up. It had done gathered on the ground and started to snow harder. So he got up and he walked over to the window, and he went by the heater and turned the heater up because he felt it getting a little bit colder. But when he looked out of the window, he noticed on the ground, he could see a flock of birds flocking together, and they were just shivering. And he said, man, those birds, they're going to freeze to death if I don't go down there and do something or somebody don't help them out. So he said, I know what I can do. I can go back there and open my barn door. They can fly in there, and they can stay warm and get out of that snow. So the guy walks downstairs. He goes and opens his barn door to let the birds fly in, but the birds wouldn't fly in. So he said, well, maybe if I run shoo them in, they'll go that way. Well, he went to shooing them, and they just went to scattering in all directions away from the barn. He said, well, that's making it worse. He said, I know what I can do. I can go turn the light on, and they'll see the light and the warmth of it, and they'll go to it. So he goes and turns the light on. Guess what? Birds just sitting there shivering in the snow. He said, man, I don't know what to do, but I got one more thing I can try. I'm going to go get some bread and make breadcrumb trail all the way in, and I know they'll eat that bread and go on in and get that light and stay warm and live. And so he did that, and the birds just sitting there shivering. The man was so frustrated that he screamed out, why can't I be a bird just for a little bit so they'll trust me and I can show them the way into safety and save them from all this harm? And in that moment, that man thought, wow, maybe that is what God was thinking when he sent Jesus. You know, sometimes it takes a story like that to make sense, to get us to thinking that there is something more powerful out there, that there has to be a God, that even when our hope is faded a little bit, we got holes in us, that there's still a God out there. I can promise you there is, because I just spent 48 hours chasing him around in the woods, man, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And I know I'm a changed man when I came home from prison. I know I was a changed man. But after these last 48 hours, I promise you, my life has changed again in ways I can't even explain. And you know, change is a big thing to what I do. I talk about change a lot. Hey, I even wrote about it in my book. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and post that link up top. If you need a copy of it, man, you need to get this. But, you know, you can order it right online. But, man, I just wanted to share that story with you guys tonight and let y'all know, even in those moments, man, when things start going way left or way wrong, man, there's a God that's still out there, and he loves you. And I know that for a fact, because I got to be surrounded with so much love from men that have been broken and understand that they imperfect. And man, we got to spend time with a Father that loves us anyway. So I hope this story helps some of you, man. And remember this here, if you get a chance to go to 1 Year to Live, then you better take that opportunity. Change your life forever. So next time I come back, I'm going to give you that other story I was talking about. But you guys stay blessed, and I love you. And